Welcome to Financial Issues, where we help you steward faithfully by honoring God with your investments. Now listen in as we give you the practical tools and advice you need to become a biblically responsible investor.
This is Financial Issues, where we help you defund darkness and fund the light by investing with biblical integrity. Folks, welcome to our Tuesday show. It's wonderful to be here with you. Seth Udinsky, Sam Case, and your host, Mark Manila. Mark, good morning, brother.
Good morning. Good to be here.
It is good to be here. Folks, we hope that you all will join us. Lend your voice to the show, if you will. Use the vocal cords that God gave you. We do it every day. So why don't you join us as well? 610-363-1110. You can call in. You can share your thoughts, ask your questions. The phone lines are wide open. They'll be open for the next hour. 610-363-1110.
If Seth can do it, you can do it too.
That's right, baby. That's right. If a genius like me can do it, boy, you can too. That's some encouragement this morning. 610-363-1110. Preborn campaign, speaking of encouraging things marching on, I'm just blown away, Mark. Every day we get up and we see the numbers from the previous day, and God continues to just be faithful. And it's so cool to see. We'll talk about that later in the show, but just a wonderful job that you all have done. We got a long way to go, but we've made some pretty amazing ground so far. So preborn.com/FISM if you're considering giving. But we'll talk more about that later, guys. First and foremost, looks like we may be seeing, speaking of possible encouraging things, a suspension on the federal gas tax. Raise your hand. Did anybody even know we had a federal gas tax? Hopefully folks did out there. It's not something you often think about, right? But
I think I had a sneaking suspicion that I wasn't getting this just at the straight number, right?
Exactly. Sam, what's going on here with this possible suspension?
Well, it's not going to be a life-changing event, but it might take a little bit of stress off of people, just a smidge. NBC reports that President Trump is saying he supports temporarily suspending the federal gas tax as those gas prices remain above about $4.50 a gallon nationwide. There might be only one state that's underneath that $4.50 mark. Suspending the federal gas tax, however, would only lower the prices by about 15 cents per gallon, but as Trump says, it's a small percentage, but, it's still money, so it would ease a little bit. Any suspension still would need approval by Congress. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley, as a result, introduced legislation for the pause yesterday, but still the highest pain at the pump is coming from, at least on the tax level, is coming at the state level. California coming in at number one, over 70 cents a gallon. So if you combine that with the federal tax, they're paying almost $1 more a gallon in California. Number two is Illinois at 66 cents a gallon. 3, 4, and 5 are Washington, Pennsylvania, and Indiana. They're coming in at the mid to upper 50 cents a gallon in their taxes. So, Mark, do you think this will have any meaningful political or financial impact on people?
I think politically it'll show that Trump's trying to do something. Yeah, I think it will have a little bit of positive there. Probably short-lived, not a big deal. I don't think it'll have any major impact on families or individuals. Dropping 18 cents to 60 cents a gallon when it's at $4.50 a gallon or $4.60 a gallon isn't that big of a deal. But it is a move in the right direction. It's only one of many things he could do, and that's like in the war in Iran.
That might help.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think that most people, we really need to put it in context and then apply it to their life. If your life is changed substantially by an increase of, say, $20 or $30 a week in gasoline costs, which is, maybe let's just round it to $100 a month for an average vehicle. Maybe your finances are that tight, and if they are, then it's time to make some decisions on where your spending should be. The focus shouldn't be on a single item like gas or a single item like food or anything like that. That all plays into the budget, but on where we are, and are we doing everything God has enabled us to do the most with what He's given us to use. So, that comes down to our job. That comes, are we at the right job, making the right amount? Are we utilizing that money in a good way? Are we spending it foolishly? Is there a lot of is there a lot of our spending that is going into the trash or being wasted? Are we, it's time to refocus on God. Just remember, whenever there's a stumbling block, whenever there's something thrown in our way, we have to look at it as, okay, what is God trying to tell me? And maybe, and please forgive me because there's somebody out there this might offend. Maybe I don't need to spend $150 a week on my nails. And getting my nails done
Mark,
when
really?
the gas is gone. I'm sorry, Sam. Or maybe
how do you think I make them look so good?
Maybe I don't need a haircut every week, and spend $200 a month on haircuts or something. I'm just saying that God might be saying, hey, look at your spending, look at your income, look at your spending, realize where you're at and where I have you at this moment, and make a decision. If you believe you're not making enough to cover all the expenses, and you believe that you should be making enough, and it isn't the expense side, maybe your job that you keep saying is a good job is maybe a good job, but it's not the right job for you. You need to find one that pays more. That would be the bottom line, or a side hustle or something. But I would think in most cases, just cutting back on some things in general, like me, grabbing lunch out. Why not make a bologna sandwich here? It'd be much cheaper for me to do that than to run out
Mark,
every day and grab burgers and fries.
People, just have your wife do it. I'm sorry, that was bad.
Oh my gosh. And
and I'm not married, so I can't get my nails done. I have to make my own bologna sandwich.
Funny,
this is so unfair.
My wife makes my lunch every day. I kid you.
Isn't that nice? My wife feeds me too.
It's a gift, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is a gift to heaven. Incredible.
I'll have Grant make me a sandwich.
I'm going to get in so much trouble for that one. That's right. Have Grant do it for you.
Yeah. Your letter should come to Financial Issues and the name of Seth regarding it. But no, I believe at this point, it's more, I'm getting to, this is going to be kind of critical sounding, but I think that for most people, this is inconvenience, not life-changing adjustments that need to be made.
Yeah.
Oh, gee, I won't go to the movies every week now. I'll just go once a month,
Absolutely.
And just the money I didn't spend on popcorn would fill my car up for 2 months.
Right. Well, Mark, listen, that's so important. I mean, folks, listen, the key here is we're not trying to downplay that high gas prices are annoying. But at the same time, I'm pretty sure, Mark, just about every listener on Financial Issues could probably say this is true of them. All of us have lines in our budget that are more luxuries than they are necessities. Gas is a necessity. You got to be able to drive your car. But there are things in your budget that are more luxuries. I mean, let's all be honest, just like you mentioned, Mark. And so it's about finding those things, right?
And luxuries aren't bad. God calls us to enjoy this life, and he enables us to do that with what he entrusts us with. He says, hey, I'm entrusting this to you to use for your family, yourselves, to celebrate our relationship, God and my relationship, but also to celebrate just God in general, and use it in the ways that you see fit for your family, that you believe God sees fit for your family as well. Those two combinations. And that may mean living totally different than I live or Seth lives, and that's okay. That's okay if it's between you and God, and you are in alignment with God. Otherwise, it's time to step back a little bit and say, I've really gotten used to this lifestyle, and now I got to pull back a little. You mean I can't have dessert with every meal, or I can't go to a movie every week, or whatever it is that you do, or your nails get done, or maybe it's time to stop ordering shoes online for a month or two till the fuel comes down, or whatever it is you spend your money on. I eat out a lot. I waste a lot of money on eating out. And so that would be where I would have to pull back and say, okay, I don't need to be eating out as much. And I don't eat out because my wife doesn't cook or anything. She does a great job. She fixes me breakfast every day. She fixes me lunch, if I'm here. It's just a preference. It's my kind of what I do to get away and get my mind clear. But I can do that here. I just would need to adjust. And I'm just saying we're spoiled. That's all. A little bit spoiled. Please don't take that too harsh, but sit back, think about it, meditate on it in a second, and think, wow, when we when our life is ruined because of $30 or $100 a month, and we can't do everything that we want to do, that would be a good definition of spoiled. But I'm not trying to beat up on anybody, because I want gas prices to come down too. We live in the best country in the world, and it will happen. There's a major war going on. We're trying to protect the world from crazy people who would nuke anybody and everybody just to make another dollar or to gain a little more control. You have control right now over the phones, 610-363-1110. You could call in and get in this conversation and tell Seth how bad that comment he made was. Not me, but Seth, and ask and really ask Sam about his nails, because I think he's being real about that, by the way. Anyway, 610-363-1110.
Everyone keeps talking about how important.
Every day, kids all across America are coming to school with some kind of hidden pain.
I've seen kids come in who are just so confused about what's right and what's wrong, just having no idea that God loves them. And this just breaks my heart. Crossroads has the opportunity to bring the Word of God right into the public school, to reach children right where they are.
And when we see that happen, we see God changing lives.
We want to see kids not only come to Christ, but pursue a lifelong relationship with Him. And so local churches are uniquely positioned to disciple those children as they become young adults and through their lifespan.
Crossroads comes alongside a church and provides that church with a club structure, curriculum, training, and ongoing coaching for them to run these outreaches in public schools.
If you are burdened for the children of America, consider making a donation to Crossroads Kids Club. For more information, visit reachOurschools.com. That's reachOurschools.com.
Bring back free speech to America.
Zuckerberg drops a bombshell, reversing Meta's content moderation policies.
I started building social media to give people a voice. It's time to get back to our roots around free expression on Facebook and Instagram.
Times are changing, and it's the everyday American who is pushing the changes.
People have had enough of what these companies are doing.
Money talks, so why not have it represent your values? Get started at financialissues.org.
May is a time to honor mothers, their strength, sacrifice, and unconditional love. But for many women, motherhood feels uncertain and overwhelming. Fear and doubt leave them considering abortion. You can give hope. Just $28 helps a woman hear her baby's heartbeat, a powerful moment that leads 80% of mothers to choose life. Go to preborn.com/FISM to give today.
610-363-1110. Folks, give us a call, why don't you? Boy, we would love to hear from you. By the way, guys, today's show brought to you in part by our friends at the Timothy Plan. Can't say enough good things about Timothy Plan and everything that they do to help Christians invest with biblical integrity, offering mutual funds, ETFs, retirement plans, all the good stuff. If you want to be biblically responsible, you got to check them out, timothyplan.com. Let's keep the conversation going here, guys. Sam, it looks like the consumers are spending like crazy, although they are feeling rather gloomy about it. Kind of in line with what we were talking about earlier with gas prices and budgets and nails and sandwiches and all that good stuff.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right? Because when you're feeling gloomy about your wallet, you wouldn't think you'd be spending money, but that's what it looks like is happening here. So yeah, the University of Michigan's Consumer Sentiment Index in early May, it reached one of its lowest levels in the survey's history, which went back to the 1950s. But what's weird, as I said, the drop in confidence isn't really matching the rest of the economy besides some inflation and gas prices. So the economy overall is pretty strong. Stock markets reaching record highs, unemployment staying low at 4.3% in April. And meanwhile, those corporate profits are also hitting record highs, and consumer spending is still pretty high, setting new records in March. So maybe that changed a little bit over the last couple months. We'll have to see. But still, that's not too long ago when consumer spending was hitting those new highs. So, Mark, assuming that Michigan survey is basically true, let's just assume that for conversation right here. What is driving this disconnect?
Oh. Mark there with us? Having a hard time hearing Mark right now.
Yeah, I'm not hearing Mark.
Let's see. Well, we're going to have to keep
Hello.
going there.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Okay.
Made me nervous.
Did you lose me
Did
already?
we lose Mark? He's still there.
I was like, oh no, my question was so bad. He just wanted to leave the show.
I'm done, Sam. If you're going to ask me that bad a question, no.
Mark's like,
actually,
I'm so
I think
offended.
a lot of it might be how you manipulate numbers. For one, let's start there. Think about during the Biden years when inflation was 10, 12%. Crazy inflation numbers. The cost of goods went up substantially. And then when they did the CPI, they could say people were spending more, so that reflected on a good economy. But they were spending more because the cost of everything went up more. A little bit of that might be true today with the CPI up 3-4% somewhere in there. The new numbers are out today, but coming out year over year. So maybe everybody's spending a little bit more, and that's where they're coming up with this idea that everybody's comfortable with their money as shown by their spending. Or maybe it's just that they're spending because everything's still expensive. That could be possible. Another possibility, I think, Sam, is the news exhaustion. Have you ever thought about that? We get media
That's actually what I was wondering is how much of this, because I'm sure that a lot of it also, people aren't too happy when gas prices shoot up so fast. They're not happy when they're up in general, but especially that spike we've had. So I'm sure that's part of it. But I'm sure the media just harping on this type of stuff, and all the headlines are negative. That's going to have a kind of a depressive feedback on people.
Yeah, it has to. Constant stream of breaking news alerts and political conflict and war headlines and inflation warnings. All this can make you feel kind of down after a while. When you're being told over and over and over, your world is ending, your world is ending, gas is up $2 a gallon. And, it's like, okay, it didn't end in Europe and their gas has been through the ceiling forever. The world didn't end around the world. We've always had it quite good here, and that's because we have such a great nation. But it could be a lot of weight on that. But a little bit, I got to say, is because of with the war comes a lot of things like high gas prices right now. Hopefully it is temporary, just as Trump has been saying, and hopefully we'll get past this. I would really suggest for every hour you watch news and media, you read the word or you go before God for the same amount of time and talk about how incredible he is and count your blessings. Because if you do that, it just doesn't bother you as much because God has control over this in your life. And he promises to give you everything you need and more, not in materialism all the time, but to bring you closer to him. So I think maybe the opposite of over news, exhaustion might be under appreciation of what you do have. Was that a little harsh, or was that okay?
No, I think
so, Mark.
That's a good point. It's like negative self-talk, but it's in the economy.
Right. Well, and that's exactly what it is. We don't have to self-talk anymore because we have so much media slamming into us that we can't even hear ourselves anymore. That's why I'm saying we need to spend some quiet time just looking outside and looking to the sky and praising God and counting our blessings. And I truly believe if somebody started counting all their blessings right now, they couldn't finish before the end of their natural life.
Well, Mark, especially when you consider, and I really believe, this is where the source of true contentment comes. When you compare your blessings with what you deserve, all of a sudden you realize, okay, I'm pretty blessed. Because right now I deserve to be kindling wood. I deserve to be in hell, and I'm not. I'm hosting a radio show with my buddies, getting to do something
after
I love.
Especially
after that comment in the first segment, right?
They're still not letting you go for it in the chat.
That's exactly right. But no, it's, when we consider what we deserve versus what we have, that's where we find true contentment. And we start to realize, I hope this is what happens, Mark, is that we start to realize, okay, I'm actually a lot wealthier than I felt maybe 5 seconds ago. But realizing what I deserve makes you feel pretty good,
Yeah.
And it makes you realize how loving of a Savior you have.
I just think, and this is from my life, the more I learned to count my blessings, the better life got. And nothing probably even changed outside my outlook. And that that God talk in me. You know, you read the Bible and it says focus on these things, and none of them are negative. It's things that are pure, things that are of good report. It's all good stuff. God tells us to focus on those for a reason, because this world is here to bring us down and just pour into us all the ugliness, because he who's in the world does not like you. He wants to destroy you. It's Satan running to and fro to devour us. So we need to be focused on the Lord and everything good. And if we do that, we won't have a negative attitude. Occasionally we'll get depressed. Occasionally things overwhelm us. But in general, we will find the beauty and the joy and the peace that God has given us by doing that.
Well, Mark, speaking of all that good stuff, joy and peace and operating within the Lord's will and operating in obedience, this preborn campaign, I think now it's a good time as any to talk about it. It's just been absolutely outstanding. Folks, as of this morning, you all have raised over $127,000. That is amazing. We've been talking about how this is one of the best starts to a campaign we can all remember in recent memory, and just so cool. Over 200 gifts. We're almost halfway there. We're not even halfway to the month yet. I mean, it's just such cool stuff. And just want to remind you all, folks, that when you give to preborn this month, it's really a triple impact. On the one hand, it's the dollar amount to preborn, but on the other hand, there's also this match that we're doing where every time we hit $5,600, an anonymous donor is going to underwrite an ultrasound machine that's placed in a preborn clinic. Now, keep in mind, these ultrasound machines go anywhere from $15,000 to $25,000 a pop. So we're getting these at an extreme discount. And then the third leg of it is that when this whole campaign's over, the entire dollar amount is being given by the same donor as a financial gift to Financial Issues. So if you love Financial Issues, you should give to preborn. If you love preborn, you should give to preborn. Simple as that. Do that this month. Preborn.com/FISM, and make sure that if you're trying to give out of your appreciated stock, that's actually something, Mark, that I think is so important that we haven't talked about as much. Maybe there are listeners out there who have stocks that are not biblically responsible, but they've run up and you want to sell them. Well, rather than selling them right now, you can actually gift those stocks to preborn. You can gift them to preborn, let preborn sell them, and then you end up cleaning up your portfolio as well as giving a great financial gift. It's an amazing thing, Mark. I'd encourage people to do that.
Yeah, in a non-qualified account, you also get the benefits of not having to pay the capital gains on that run-up.
It's amazing.
So you come up with a tax benefit. You get matched twice. You get more machines in there. So much you could do. And if you have questions with that, how do they do that?
Super easy, folks. Send Meg Willichek an email. So Meg is our controller. It's Meg, M-E-G, at financialissues.org. Meg at financialissues.org. She'll give you all the information to be able to give it. It's a gift given directly to preborn. So, you don't give it to Financial Issues, you give it right to preborn. And she gets it all worked out with how it's counted towards the campaign and all that stuff. So make sure that you do that. You can also dial pound 250 and say the keyword baby. And that's just another way that you can give also. Just make sure that you mention it's part of the FISM campaign. Yeah, Mark, this has been such an exciting campaign as we try to make motherhood possible for these women.
Amen.
Really cool.
And it's a wonderful thing to see God at work, tugging at people's heart to get behind this purpose. We always say stewardship boils down to utilizing God's resources. That's the money he's enabled you to, he's given to you and to manage for him for his purposes. Well, saving babies is his purpose. He cherishes life. It's life he created to his glory, and it glorifies God. So, yeah, I love this campaign. I love being partners with preborn.
Yeah, absolutely. 610-363-1110. Folks, really hope you would give us a call. We would love to hear from you. Real quickly here, Mark, why don't we take a look at what the markets did yesterday? They enjoyed a pretty nice day. Overall, it was actually a nice calm day. It wasn't too crazy either direction. The Dow and the S&P were both up about 1/5, and the NASDAQ was up about 0.1%. The Russell 2000 up about 1/3. The pre-markets this morning, Mark, are not feeling quite as calm, but it's not terrible. There's a lot of red and perhaps some green in places we don't like to see it. Oil is now up above 3 digits again. So that's what we're looking like. The tech-heavy NASDAQ, Mark, is pricing in to open around 0.75% negative. Meanwhile, the Dow's basically flatlined, and the S&P is right around 1/3% in the pre-markets before we open. As we wait with bated breath, Mark, for our
see
beloved
what
Wall
goes
Street.
on today. Well, you know what? The markets have ran up a bit, and we have to be concerned about that. Usually when we see the markets, the valuation of the market in general, the PE rise like it has, and we see the New York Stock Exchange do what it's doing, and the S&P 500's running up like it is. We have to be careful. A lot of things may be overvalued. We want to be careful, and we can talk about that more as we come back after this break here. But you could get your questions regarding that or something else in right now by calling 610-363-1110. We'd love to hear from you because this is a show for you. We're here to help you be the best stewards possible, and we are so grateful for the opportunity to do so. Just like we're grateful to come alongside Preborn and partner with them and kids clubs and other ministries that help you to do that.
As a member of Samaritan Ministries,
Each May, we celebrate Mother's Day and the gift that mothers are to us. But for many women carrying a child, motherhood feels uncertain. They're facing fear, doubt, and some are considering abortion. This May, you can help make motherhood possible by supporting Preborn. Preborn partners with clinics across the country, providing free ultrasounds and sharing the hope of Jesus Christ with women who are abortion-minded. When you give to Preborn, you're giving these women a chance to choose life. Just $28 helps a woman hear her baby's heartbeat, a powerful moment that leads 80% of mothers to choose life. And when we come together to sponsor 200 ultrasounds, we'll equip a Preborn clinic with a life-saving ultrasound machine. Will you help make motherhood possible? Go to preborn.com/FISM to give today. That's preborn.com/FISM.
Every day across the globe, big business agendas go unseen by investors. Things that go against your core values and beliefs. It's time to know your investments. Abortion, alternative lifestyles, gender and identity confusion. If you believe in protecting marriage and life, children, innocence, guarding masculinity, restoring families, defending religious liberty, invest with your values. Before investing, carefully consider the fund's investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the investment company. This and other important information can be found in the fund's prospectus. To obtain a copy, visit timothyplan.com or call 800-846-7526. Read each prospectus carefully before investing. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Babies has always been a part of our calling because every day women in crisis are making heartbreaking decisions.
Grateful to have you folks. Hey, give us a call, 610-363-1110. We would love to hear from you and talk with you. So grateful for the audience we had this morning. We've got a lot of conversation there in the chat. Good chat question, speaking of which, Mark. Jan is 42. She's asking a good question. She says, I'm in the growth model. I just bought TPLC. Actually, not just bought it. She bought it back in 2020. It's now up over 50% during that time. Should I keep it? Or should I sell for now and buy something else in the meantime, perhaps one of the new Timothy ETFs that we've been talking about over this last week or so? What do you think, Mark? What should Jan do?
That's a great question to begin with. But and here's something to think about. It's grown 50%. How does that affect your asset allocation? Does it throw it off totally, or has everything else grown enough that it's not way overvalued? Because remember, TP large cap is actually managed internally, so they'll be buying and selling things as they see fit internally within that mutual fund. Well, actually, it's only every 6 months. You might want to be very. I like your idea of buying into the new fund, selling a portion of it off, a third of it off, and getting into the new ETFs. That would give you some diversification. But like I said earlier in the show, not this show, but within the last week, is until we get all the data on the new ETF so I can see how much overlap there is, I really couldn't make that decision for you. But personally, I like the new ETFs. I like the new free cash flow basis that they're using. They're showing meaning they're showing stronger companies, that the earnings and the growth are going up, creating more free cash flow, giving them some stability. So I think that's an excellent idea. Jan, I would move right along that line. Yeah, I don't think you could get hurt doing that. Selling off about 30%, selling off the gains, moving those over into the new ETF.
It's awesome. Yeah, I love that. And it's great to see that seems, Mark, par for the course for TPLC. This is not a guarantee that it's always going to go up, but you hold it for 6 years and it's up 50%. Sounds about right to me with a good, solid, long-term Timothy play. Good stuff, Jan. Glad you're doing that. Mark William from Mississippi is asking a great question. We actually got this question some time ago, but it's a good one. He just needs some clarification on what sectors, growth, income, et cetera, to invest into taxable accounts. He does not have a Roth. So we're talking, like a regular brokerage account, maybe just a regular IRA too. What's some wisdom that he can follow when doing that, Mark?
Well, this is a great question too. And I know occasionally we'll get asked this, but remember, whenever possible, higher tax or higher turnover investments should go in your Roth first, and then in your traditional IRA, and then obviously into your non-qualified. So that's the way you'd like to put that together. If you can move all your higher tax or higher turnover stocks into your Roth, that'd be great. By buying them in there moving forward. If you can't, then the second choice is the spillover would be for those that are still not tax efficient or whatever to go into your traditional IRA, and then finally into your non-qualified account.
Awesome. William, hope that can help you.
Did that answer the question? Okay.
I think so, Mark. Yeah, it seemed like that's what William was wanting is, kind of which portfolio or which type of account gets first priority when it comes to that, that sort of thing. So yeah, I think it's great.
And that's where it comes down to. Another way to say it in reverse is consider using taxable accounts for tax-efficient holdings, such as long-term investments, qualified dividend stocks, or low-turnover funds.
Great stuff. All right, Mark, here's a good question from a partner named Rena. She's 46. She says, I listen to you pretty much every day, but I can only do it after the live show because I work. So, Rena, glad that you found us on the podcast. You can listen, after hours. She says, my question is this. If I trim my portfolio and I take all the cost basis, what should I do with the money when my asset allocation is already where it's supposed to be? What else do I buy with it? 46-year-old, I'm in the growth model. It's for my Roth IRA. What do you think, Mark? It sounds to me like Rena maybe has a little bit of excess cash and she's already well diversified. So she's wondering, okay, what do I do with the excess?
Interesting question. I'm not sure I understand what she's saying by taking her cost basis, unless she's just pulling out what she invested in all these different things and leaving the gains in there to grow from there. That is a great strategy. I mean, if something's doubling costs, you pull off the cost basis and leave the rest in there to grow. That's not a bad idea. But I'm not exactly sure what she's saying. But let's just approach it. I don't know, Seth. Let's approach it with, if you're pulling off just part of your investments to balance out your asset allocation, you should have been redeploying those as well to help balance out. For example, one sector may have been up, one sector down. You pull some gains off the one sector and you move it over in, or you pull some of the investment, maybe the cost basis, some of the cost basis off there, and you move it over to the sector that was down a little bit to rebalance those into your asset allocation.
Yeah.
So not just trim, but trim and redeploy to balance everything. Now, if you're happy with where everything is in the portfolio, then you could obviously just leave it in the money market right now with the S&P, with actually the markets in general having run up again like they have. There's no reason to rush in. It's very hard to find some fair valued stocks. Most of them, even great companies, are overvalued right now. Are fully valued. Have taken in everything, including some of the future growth. So it wouldn't be bad to be in a money market or something like that at this time. If you do decide to reinvest, well, watch whatever sectors seem to be lagging at this point and build those up a little bit. Find maybe just spread it equally around your asset allocation, even if it means increasing. If you can't find a new buy on the buy list that you would like to have in your portfolio, you could. I think staying in money markets is strongest, but you could redeploy that into new stocks on the buy list that you're comfortable with. Be careful that the valuations aren't over the top. That's all.
Absolutely. Mark, can I throw a third option in there that I think would definitely be third in rank? I think the first two you mentioned are definitely the better ones. But if she's in this situation too, you can also withdraw the gains. Just be mindful of your tax implications and the type of account that you're in also. But if you have an emergency come up that goes beyond the scope of the moat around your castle, Mark, I don't see any reason why you wouldn't spend the money that you have versus trying to go into debt to cover something like that. Of course, I do think it'd be my last option just because it doesn't seem to be as wise across the board as those first two. But that could be a third option as well.
Well, it could be. If you did have unusual expenses, utilizing that money instead of just spending down your moat makes total sense. You could do that,
for sure.
Because you're going to have to replenish your moat one way or another.
Exactly. And once again, Mark, with that last option, I mean, you really do need to be mindful of tax implications. And if you're in a tax advantaged account, it's tough to say that that's a good option. But you might be able to withdraw it as well because it's not part of the gains. So you might be able to withdraw it if it was part of your original contribution into it without that 10% penalty. So that's all part of the cut. Yeah. It's a great question.
All good choices, by the way, including pray about it. If you're blessed so abundantly and you're comfortable with it, does God have a purpose for that money outside of your life? Does he want you to support a ministry? Does he want you to help somebody personally? Maybe God put somebody in your path that he's saying, hey, what about this person? Maybe now's a good time to reach out and help them.
Mark, I'm glad you said that. That is a fourth answer too. You introduced me, by the way, brother, to the term giving hilariously. I'd never heard that before until you said it.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't either. I really like it.
I'd always heard like sacrificial giving, which is a good term too, but giving hilariously is awesome because
it makes it a positive thing.
It does. And I think, Mark, it also kind of captures the way that we're viewed by the world. Like they'll laugh at us because of our generosity, but that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
Well, absolutely. And
it's like Scrooge. The world laughs at Scrooge at the end of the book, but he's glad they laughed.
Exactly.
Yeah. But the Greek word, and I can't remember, it was a word study I did regarding a verse about how we're supposed to give. And that word is used as hilariously. It's a Greek word. I'll have to go back and relook it all up. It's been like 20 years since I did that study. But anyway.
Yeah.
That Greek study.
Is it for the word where it says God loves a cheerful giver? And can it translate to hilarious or something like that?
It might be. It might be. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I remember that Bible study
right now.
Yeah. Well, I haven't done any Greek word studies in quite a while.
Yeah, for sure. It's all Greek to me, as they say, right? No. Anyway. That's terrible.
Well, that's
again.
So you at least got that.
Udinsky at
That's right. If anyone is angry about today's show, I'm your guy to email 610-363-1110. Mark, I hope we don't get any angry emails, but I do hope we get some happy calls. I'd love to hear from our listeners out there. Give us a ring, 610-363-1110, and make sure that you make a donation to Preborn. Speaking of giving hilariously, you can do that at preborn.com/FISM. I hope you'll join us, folks. Remember, if you love financial issues, give to Preborn. And if you love Preborn, give to Preborn.
Yeah, and remember that anything we're saying here on this, whether it's about the economy, whether it's about how you spend your money, this isn't us telling you what to do. It's us sharing what the Lord has shown us. And we just want to help you to be the best steward possible. 610-363-1110. Also, remember, we do have a sense of humor.
My name is Reagan Gardner, and I am in the 4th grade. Last year, I wanted to be like everybody else. I thought I had to act different, look different, and be different to be cool. When I joined Crossroads, I learned that God loves me just the way that I am.
Help reach more kids like Reagan with the hope of the gospel. To learn more about Crossroads Kids Club and how you can get involved, visit reachourschools.com.
May is a time to honor mothers, their strength, sacrifice, and unconditional love. But for many women, motherhood feels uncertain and overwhelming. Fear and doubt leave them considering abortion. You can give hope. Just $28 helps a woman hear her baby's heartbeat, a powerful moment that leads 80% of mothers to choose life. Go to preborn.com/FISM to give today.
The opinions and recommendations expressed on this program do not necessarily represent the opinions of the station or any of the program sponsors. Additionally, all products or services offered by the program sponsors may not be known by the program.
Folks, listen, financialissues.org, that's where you can go to learn more about our ministry. You can become a partner there for $132 a year. It is a great deal, financialissues.org. Speaking of which, partners, we did send out a commentary, great commentary from Mark, and we also got there was one cell alert that went out yesterday, Mark, also, as part of that commentary.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, I'm sorry, I want to go back to that Greek word.
Oh, yeah.
I now know why I couldn't remember what the Greek word was, because it's a very complicated word. It's hilaros.
Nice.
And it's used in Corinthians 9:7.
Yeah. And that is the passage you guys were referencing there about God loving
exactly.
the giver.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Yeah, such a great mindset to have, Mark. It lines up so well with the fact that none of it's ours anyway. I mean, it's all God's, so why should we not be cheerful in giving it away when it doesn't belong to us anyway? Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, Mark, a good question here from David. David expecting their first child in a couple of weeks. Congratulations to you and your bride, brother. That is awesome. He's 46 years old, and he's saying, what is the best way to set something up for my daughter's future?
What a great question.
Yeah, it is.
That warms my heart, because when a father, when you're expecting all this stuff and the father is focused on only the child, not how are we going to do this? What are we going to do? How are we going to get by? Oh, we're going to have to cut. It's like, how do I set up something for my child's future, my future child's future? That is so cool. Thank you for that. But before we go there, let's talk about some basic stewardship. This child belongs to the Lord first. Your job is not just to build money for her future, but to care for her, to raise her, to mentor her. So your job means that you need to be a great steward with your household first. So before setting up anything for your daughter, I really think you need to be considering, do you have your moat around your castle already in place and systematically being replenished so that when bad things happen, you don't have to go in debt? Do you have the proper insurances? No reckless debt, no consumer type debt where you're paying 29% or loaning money to the government and paying 29% or whatever it is you're paying on your credit cards by over withholding. Make sure you got updated wills and trusts, and do all the things you need to do to have a strong family and household first. Then you could consider setting up an account for your child. And we've talked about this a few times. There's different ways to do it, from using the Uniform Gift to Minors account type of accounts or UGMA accounts. This allows you to invest for your child's future. It has a little bit of tax benefit in it, in that it's taxed with what is it called? The kiddie tax, I think.
Yeah, kiddie tax. Yep.
Term a lot of people use at your kid's tax rate, which may be 0 on a lot of it. And it can be used for anything for them. It has to be used for their benefit, like a car or schooling or business opportunity or things like that. So the caution here is control, though. When Seth, this is the one that really concerns us the most, isn't it?
It is, Mark. Yeah. When the child reaches that age of majority, it's usually 18 or 21 in most states, David. The control of the money becomes theirs. Now, it can be a very good thing if you steward them well and if they're ready for it, so to speak.
Right.
But Mark, we have heard horror stories of an 18-year-old getting control of a lot of money. It can be a recipe for disaster too. So it's just something you got to be careful of. Definitely.
Yeah, you do. And remember, a lot of people say, well, if you're a good father, that won't happen. Well, you know what? I have the perfect father. He's called God.
Right.
And look at me.
Look how we screw up. Exactly.
Look how we turned out.
There's a whole parable in the Bible about that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So that would be the one that we would look at. Of course, there's 529 plans. And as you know, we're not very high on those because there's just so much control, and you can't invest with biblical integrity in them right now. In most states, there may be a few states that give you some options. And another option, and an option that I appreciate, is keeping an account in your name and dedicating it to the child.
I like that a lot too, Mark.
Yeah.
But we don't often talk about that one, but that's a great option for you too. Yep.
Well, yeah, it gives mom and dad more control over it. You could open a joint account with your wife, and it gives you more control over it. And it may not be tax savvy, but if you invest for the long term, you got the capital gains benefit, long-term capital gains benefits on your taxes. And then when they need the money, or when it comes around, if they're not ready to manage it themselves at 18 or 21, you still have control over it, but you still can help them along with their life as they become more mature in their finances. So I like that one. And I think that, I like that one because you could, if necessary, you can use it any time in their life. You can wait till they're 35 and then say, hey, you've been talking about opening up your own coffee shop or opening up your own business. Here, let me help you with the money needed for that. I've had this account set aside to help you, and you're at that maturity level now that I think that you could use this to open up that business or go to school or whatever it is that they need it for.
That's awesome. Hey, Mark, one more point that I was just thinking, about this for David. David, if you're not, lavishly, independently wealthy right now, I think life insurance is a good idea for you too. If you don't have it, also, mainly. Just
to replace your income if something happens.
Absolutely.
You want to set up your child right. Well, how terrible would it be if for your wife and your child, if you're not there, and they not only lose you, but if you're the major breadwinner in the house, they lose that as well.
Absolutely.
And they have to strive. Life insurance can help to replace that money
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good point, Seth.
It's a great question, Mark. I'm so excited to see David thinking about this stuff.
That's the way
God bless
think.
you, brother. That's cool. Mark, we've got a call coming from Arkansas. Madeline.
Well, let's go to Madeline. Madeline, welcome to the show. Thank you for calling. And what's on your mind this morning?
First of all, I want to say good morning and thank y'all so much for being there and what you do and for glorifying God.
Well, praise God. Thank you.
My question, I listen to the show as much as I can, and I am learning very, very slowly. That's why I am grateful that God has called y'all to do what you do. But I am doing my best to build my portfolio to make it match the FISM model. And I am, where do I get the amount and where, like in my cash, I'm way over. I have my account balance in Fidelity is $66,098.28. My available to trade, we started investing in February and been slowly doing that, but I listened to a show the other day and a guy I think had 47 places where he was invested. Well, I've got 44, so I'm too diversified from listening. And so I need to get balanced here, but I need my cash amount. Where do I get that cash amount from so I know it's correct and current? And does that change?
Well, on your portfolio platform, you said you're on Fidelity. You would go into your account and look at cash and money market accounts and see where all the cash is here, and that would equal your cash amounts. Now, if you're in an income fund and you're using the money market as like a bond or like an income fund, you could remove that from the cash portion of it. If your money market account isn't used as your cash account, you would separate that, is what I'm saying. But you can use your cash. Your cash will grow and constrict based on your buying and selling, because in most of the accounts you want your money to automatically go to a cash account and earn something while you're sitting on it waiting for the next purchase or the next opportunity. Also, during times when the market has raced up and the valuations of the markets in general are pretty high, there's nothing wrong with holding extra cash and just waiting for opportunities to happen in pullbacks. Like right now, trying to find a fairly valued stock or one that you really like that is with strong financial issues, steel core business, is a little bit difficult. So you might wait till you find one of those, and as you wait, it would be sitting in cash. So don't worry about being strict on it 24/7. It's just over time, you want to deploy your cash to use it to be more productive. And unless you can't find anything at that point, be still and realize that maybe it's time to start raising the cash in your portfolio when you trim back on those overvalued positions you have. No rush. It'll work out over time. And that's a great question, Madeline. Thank you for calling with that question. Sometimes we feel pressure to do things. We should never move out of pressure. Do it a step at a time. Realize that there will be times based on market influence, like when markets are overvalued, when we let cash grow, and when we get thinner on our cash because the markets are just a buying opportunity. Thank you for loving the Lord, Madeline, and thank you all for loving the Lord to the point where you all invest with biblical integrity, honoring God by fulfilling His purposes for stewardship in your life. God bless you all for being with us today. I hope that you'll all be back tomorrow. God bless and have a great Tuesday.
If we ever forget that we're one nation under God, then we will be a nation gone under.
Thank you for joining us. This has been an FISM production.
Fear